Good morning, beloved of God. Right where you are at this moment, the light of Spirit shines through you. Infinitely loved by God, you are the light of the world. I'm Bernie, and I welcome you to Unity Spiritual Center this morning. And if you haven't already done so, would you please silence your cell phones and then stand as you are able and join in our congregational singing.
Good morning. In honor of Memorial Day, we're going to sing a patriotic song. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dreams that seems beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. He changed. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Let us say together our statement of truth, which is on the screen.
There is only one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good, omnipotent. We are a beacon of love and light for those who need this spiritual program right now. Let us say together our vision, mission, and our core value for today. Our vision: to awaken an awareness of spirit in our lives through modern application of ancient wisdom. Our mission: raise consciousness, transform lives, heal the planet, one person at a time, beginning with me. And our core value for today is inclusivity. I'll read it, and then if we could say it together. We embrace each person as a unique expression of spirit.
We embrace each person as a unique expression of spirit.
Okay, and our daily word reading for today, Sunday, May 28th, our word is comfort. There are many, there may be days and maybe even weeks on the calendar when I find myself mysteriously feeling melancholy or blue, only to realize the anniversary of someone or something I have loved and lost is approaching. For when I don't realize it outright, a part of me remembers and responds. I can honor these feelings as a way to honor the people and places that have taught me and helped me evolve. Welcoming my feelings brings deep and abiding comfort. I carry those people and places I love with me in the things I do, keeping their spirit alive. Gradually, I find smiles within the sadness. Revisiting treasured memories reveals the love within the loss. The presence of God is found within the gifts of each moment, and I find comfort through my grateful heart. Today's Bible verse is from Psalms 119, verse 76. Let your steadfast love become my comfort, according to your promise to your servant. Yes. Our affirmation today, I'll say it, and then if we could all repeat it together. Loving memories comfort me. Loving memories comfort me.
One, two, three. There we go. Those of you who are joining us online, I really want to welcome you for taking a little time out of your holiday weekend to be with us, and know that we're thinking of you, and you are part of this congregation and part of this church family. So let's do that now.
Please remain seated for this next song.
You are my home.
Hopefully, yeah, I'm on. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad you joined us for this holiday weekend, and may we all have a great weekend and celebrate, or at least give thought to the people that we're thinking of on this Memorial Day. It's a pleasure to welcome each of you here to Unity Spiritual Center today. Together we affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, our oneness with all that is, and our oneness in God. Your presence is essential, for each of you is a unique aspect of the energy that is Unity Spiritual Center right here, right now, today. And we know that each of us is not here by accident or coincidence. Unity is a New Thought denomination, yet New Thought is nothing new to the world. It is in reality a synthesis of the greatest concepts in reality across the ages. The laws of Moses, the love of Christ, the ethics of Buddha, the morals of Confucius, the 5 pillars of Islam, and the deep spiritual realization of the Hindus all find an exalted place in unity. If I get it here. In unity, we believe that all people are created with sacred worth, regardless of culture, ethnicity, sexual orientation, and creed, and we know that neither God nor unity leaves anyone out. So as we begin our service today, let's do so with prayer. Infinite presence, loving Spirit, as we move through this weekend, let us reflect on this Memorial Day. Let us give thanks for the freedom we have, for this great country we live in, and let us see your light, your love, reflected in each of us, and see that light bringing us together in peace and harmony, not only for this country, but all countries. Let us see your light, your love reflected around this world. Let us see that light, that love, bringing harmony to all mankind. And let us give thanks for those who serve to bring what we have, the freedom we enjoy, and your light within each of us as we move forward and down our path, knowing that we are never alone. We're all in this together. And for this, we're grateful. And we know that we have such abundance and such love through the work of people working together, serving each other, not only in the military, but throughout the different aspects of our community. And we say thank you. Thank you for this great country we live in. When the disciples asked, "How should I pray?" Jesus gave them the Lord's Prayer, which we say together now is translated from the Aramaic. Together.
Infinite presence which is everywhere. Your name is sacred. Your kingdom is come. Your will is throughout the earth as it is throughout the universe. You give us our needful bread from day to day, and you forgive our offenses, even as we forgive our offenders. And you let us not enter into materialism, but you separate us from error. Because yours are the kingdom, the power, and the song, and the praise, from all ages, throughout all ages, sealed in faith, trust, and truth.
Amen.
Each of us is the light and love of God. Spiritual beings having a human experience. You are God's beloved, and we embrace you today. I think all the kids are out having a holiday, but we'll bless all the children in the world today. So let's rub our hands together, get some nice warm energy going, and then hold them up and say, children, we love you, we hope you, and we behold the Christ in you.
Good morning again. Hello, everybody. We have a nice turnout today, and all of you out there in the interwebs land. The title is When Things Got Crazy, I'd Get to Feeling Low. But I found that I can't let that faze me. Honey, now I know. When everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. Who expects the unexpected? Life sneaking up on you. And sometimes we all feel disconnected. What you gonna do? When everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. Everything changes, I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. I can change anything. Turning the pages, everything's new. If life's little stages are teaching me anything, it's everything changes, and I can change too. Everything changes, and I can change too. Everything changes, I can change too.
Beautiful voice, and I love that song. It's so appropriate for today. Before we get going on our talk today, it is Memorial Day tomorrow, and we're celebrating, we're reminiscing or pausing for a moment to remember the people who served. There's been about 41 million people who have stepped up through the history of our country to serve, to care, and to help bring about the freedom and the prosperity that we enjoy. This is a time for us to reflect and pause and give just a little thought and consideration to those who gave it all. And that's what tomorrow is about. Yes, it is a holiday, but it's to remember the price that was paid so that we do have this great country we live in. From John 15:13, no one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. And we say thank you. And God bless each of you. About 6.5 years ago, when I first started being a minister, I shared a story with you that I still remember. And it was about a young man who was up in the woods, the mountains, and he was following a trail, just walking along. And as he walked along, he was walking along the edge of a cliff. And he was looking out, but he could look down below and see a meadow with the bushes and a little stream meandering through the middle of it. The grass, the flowers, and the far side of the valley, you could see the trees going up, reaching the sky. And a beautiful blue sky above it, puffy little clouds, just like a picture, such beautiful. And as he looked and he was wandering, he tripped. He fell over the cliff. But as he fell, there was a tree growing out of the side of the cliff, and he grabbed it. And he was hanging there and saying, "Oh, God, what have I done now?" It was a big cliff, and it was a long ways down. "Help! Help! Is anybody there?" "I am here." "Oh, who are you?" "It is I, the Lord." "Oh, save me." "Do you trust me?" "Oh, with all my heart and soul. Oh, I trust you." "Let go." "Let go of what?" "Let go of the tree." "Is anybody else up there?" Today's talk is about change. Whether we fell off a cliff or just stumbled along, but change is something that's going to happen. It's just one of the things that is going to happen. Part of living is changing. Sometimes change is just a gentle breeze that kind of shifts us over a little as we're following our path down through life. Sometimes it hits us like a horrendous storm that just uproots the very foundation of who we are. But we're going to face change. It's inevitable. Sometimes we may think we fell off a cliff. But you know, we've all done that, and we've always been there, and we've all gotten through it. We're never alone. Which reminds me of a story. It was about a small, remote village located up in the mountains, kind of isolated from everything back in the times. There was a young lady who lived there. It was named Maya. She was known throughout the village for being very pessimistic, very resistant to change. This came about as she was growing up. Her mother always told her, change is bad. Bad things happen with change. We need to stay in this surrounding where we're comfortable. Stay in the village. Resist change. You don't want things to change. It's going to bring about something bad. So she believed this. Well, one day there was a man, a wise old man named Ajon, that was coming to the village, going to bring a message. He had a reputation of changing people's lives with his teachings, with the words he spoke, improving lives. So all the villages were enthusiastic to hear what he was going to say. And they came together and he began to talk. And he talked about change and how change actually was a good thing, to be encouraged, to accept it. It would bring about changes in them that brought about good, made their lives better, opened them up more to who they are, accepting life. As he gave the talk and he was looking out, he looked at the back, and everybody was just kind of into the talk and enthusiastic and enjoying what he was saying, except in the back there was this young lady, Maya, had this scowl on her face like, yeah, right. And so he got done with the talk, and he was determined to try to talk to her. So he went to her and he says, my child, what is it that you don't like about change? What is it? Why is it you resist it so much? And she says, change brings about bad things. Change just brings hurt, pain, things we don't want. And he said, well, change, it's not about the change, it's our attitude on how we accept change, how we look at change is what brings about good or resistance, the pain. And as he talked and they discussed it, she kind of started opening up a little bit and decided, well, okay, I'll consider it. And she agreed to follow him for the day and let it give him an opportunity to show her what change was about, to change the way she looked at it. This is somebody who'd never left the village because, going into somewhere new or changing was a bad thing. So they left the village a short distance, going to a waterfall that was known for its beauty. So on the way there, he encouraged her to look around to see the surroundings. She saw the bushes and the trees and the grass, trees, all the flowers, the different colors, and was amazed at some of the stuff she'd never got around to going because she'd never been out there before. Even smiled, making progress. They got to the waterfall, and she looked at it, amazed as it cascaded over the rocks, this crystal clear mountain water. He encouraged her to put her hand out, to put her hand in the water. So she reached to do that, and when she did, she was amazed because the water was cool, almost cold, completely unexpected. And then she could move her hand. And as the water flowed, it would change course a little bit, just by her moving her hand. It all kept in the flow, kept going the same direction, but it changed. And he said, that's like life. We get things that change the flow of our life. We're still flowing. We're still on the path. We're still going. Sometimes we might get a little pebble in the stream that diverts the stream a little. Sometimes there might be a boulder there that kind of forces it to make a major change, major interruption. But it goes by and continues on its course. It's like us and our life, he explained to her. Change, our attitude, has a lot to do with how life affects us, how we're going to accept it, what's going on. She began to open up and see more of this and what was going on in her life. Became very open to change, enthusiastic about changes, changed her attitude, and actually became an advocate that taught people and talked about change and embraced it. Change is good, but it's up to us whether we want to stay in a bubble, stay in our little village, or to move ahead. Sometimes, yes, we might have small changes that just kind of make our day better, or we can accept it. Sometimes we fall off a cliff. Sometimes, many times, there's pain associated with pain or change. But it's up to us to get through it. We've all, every one of us, have had changes in our life that gave us doubt, fear, anger, hurt, pain. It's part of living. From the moment you were born till the day you die, you're going through changes. Starting out the infant, changing rapidly as you grow up to a small child, through the turbulent years of teenagers, except me, to maturing, going into our senior years, looking back at life, up until we take that transition and move into the next phase. We're changing. Change is about opening ourselves, getting better, learning, growing, expanding our truth, seeing who and what we are. Spirit. That's what change is. Change gives us an opportunity not to fear, to hold back, to fight, but to move forward, to stretch us, expand us, so that we can be more of who we are. It's not so much being who we are, it's opening to accept who we are. One of the, a metaphor of it, a good one is a caterpillar. You see the caterpillar growing around, eating leaves, just a little bug crawling along, probably fuzzy. And then he starts going through a change. Makes a chrysalis, crawls into the thing, and completely goes apart. Not a caterpillar anymore, just mush. But out of that mush, out of that trying time, erupts a beautiful butterfly. One of the prettiest things in nature came about because that caterpillar just disintegrated. There's times in our life, we've all had that, where we feel like, what are we going to do? How are we going to accept this? Major change, minor change. But we move through it. Just hold on to the fact you're never alone. Right here. Spirit, God is right there. Your truth, who you really are. Yes, it's going to hurt. But just keep moving forward. Life gets better. Change. We don't let go of what we experienced, but we move beyond to see it in a different light through love. The perfect example of this would be Jesus. Look at Jesus. He was just a man, just like you or me, each of us. They say he was a tradesman, probably a carpenter, as he was growing and learning. First 30 years of his life. And as he did this, as he changed, accepted more of who he was, till finally at about 30 years old, he really started opening himself, seeing beyond his limitations, seeing inside what and who he was, an expression of God, an expression of Spirit. And then he started teaching, sharing what he'd learned with people. And what was the main thing he taught? To love God, to love your neighbor as yourself, and to love yourself. To be that expression of love, which each of us are. We're on a path to learn our truth. It's not so much to learn our truth, it's to let go of the limitations that hold us back from our truth. Each little change along your path, whether it diverts you a little or is a catastrophe, is an opportunity for us to grow, to realize who and what we are. You've had challenges. Sometimes it might be a broken relationship, maybe losing a job, financial problems, or the loss of a loved one. Something that puts a boulder in your stream. But just like the stream, you flow around it. It disrupts where you think you ought to be or where you want to be. But you move on. I've had the times in my life I've shared with you in the past. After 9/11, I was flying a lot. The company I flew for sold the plane because they had the helicopters they had to keep going. I get a phone call. I'm no longer employed. That's how much notice I had. What am I going to do? I'm 50 years old. I'm a pilot. This is a young man's occupation. How am I going to find a job? But I held on to the fact it'll work out. I looked for a job. But then out of the blue, out of nowhere, I get a phone call telling me about a job. You ought to go apply for this. I think it's perfect for you. I did, got the job, gave me a huge raise, a great job, worked 2, 3, maybe 4 days a week sometimes. Might be gone 4 or 5 times a month overnight, which for a pilot is great. Had many benefits. A job I loved. Flew there for 9 years, and it came time to retire. I actually ended up retiring a year or 2 before I really wanted to. But it worked out. I said, okay, I'm going to have to adjust things because my income's now less than half. But we're financially in a place where life will be good. Less than a year later, this little voice said, no, time to change. And I'm like, no, it's not. No. But if that didn't happen, I wouldn't be here right now. I've changed. Still not comfortable with talking up here, but I'm not terrified anymore. I've changed. And every morning when I wake up, I say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God, for so many blessings in my life. Sure, I still have changes. I still go through things. But I realize every day my life's getting better. And I hold that positive energy, that positive faith, no matter what I'm facing. It's getting better. And that's what we need to do when we face change. Not to fear it, not to run from it, hide from it, to get fear or anger, but to embrace it. See what's in it to make you stronger, to bring out your truth, love. It's all good. Doesn't always seem that way, no. But it is. You're never alone. We're in this together. During the bad times, go to your loved ones. They're there to support you, to help you. Just keep moving forward. As I close, I like stories. Let me give you a little story. There was an older wise man in another village. And his nephew came to him one day, and as he looked at his nephew, he had tears at the corner of his eyes and looked sad. Uncle knew something was bad, something was wrong. He said, what's wrong? And the nephew said, well, I had it all figured out. Everything was going the way I wanted. Life was good. I had it made. I worked it all out, and it all fell apart. I don't know what's going to happen. I have no idea where I'm going, what I'm going to do, how I'm going to get through. And the uncle said, well, I need to go to the hills. Nephew kind of looked at him like, well, I love my uncle. Okay, I'll go with you. So they made this arduous journey to the hills. They got to the bottom of the hills, and the old man said, I need to go to the top of the highest hill. Nephew said, well, I'll go with you, I'll help you. So they struggled to climb the hills. Sometimes he just couldn't make it. His nephew had to grab him and drag him by his back up the hard parts of the hills. Finally, they struggled and sweated and were exhausted, and they made it to the top, and the nephew set him down at the top of the hill. And he looked around, and he told his nephew, he says, we made it. Do you remember when you were young and you came to me one day and you had tears in your eyes? Yeah. Do you remember why exactly? He said, yeah, well, it was because I was playing with the other boys, the other kids, and I couldn't climb this hill. Very few could. And they teased me about it. Yeah? What did you just do? Well, I'm at the top of the hill. Not only did you climb this hill, you dragged me up it with you. How did you do that? You couldn't climb this hill. Well, I guess I've grown. I've gotten stronger, better. Yes, you have. You've changed. You're facing a situation in your life now that's going to bring about change. You're saying you can't do it. Look at what you just did. Not only did you climb the hill you could never climb, but you dragged me along. You're growing. You're getting better. When each of you face something new, a change in front of you, hold on to the truth. You are unlimited. You will change. You will get stronger. And you're never alone. So let's take that now into a time of meditation. So right where you are, just sit back, close your eyes, relax, take a deep breath, slowly breathing in, breathing out. And as you breathe in, realize you're bringing into your heart center truth. You are an expression of God, of Spirit, of all that is. As you breathe in, realize you're like a wave in the ocean. You're unique, but everything in the ocean is within that wave. You are a special spirit of God. Love. So let's just spend a few moments now in silence and feel that love and allow it to radiate out of your heart into every cell of your body. Feeling it, living it, and being an expression of love. Now, as we prepare to come back to this time, to this place, as you move forward, hold on to that love, that truth of who you are, and open your eyes when you're ready. Bless each one of you. Thank you.
This is the time in our service when we have an opportunity to give back to the work of Spirit through our offerings and tithes. We give in love and gratitude for our own prosperity in its many forms, which comes to us through God, our instant, constant, and abundant source. Will the ushers please come forward? I invite you to hold your offerings in your hand as we say our offertory blessing together.
Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all of the good I am and have, all the good I give and receive, and I am grateful.
I think so. There we go. Would the ushers please come forward? this offering.
My gift goes forth on the wings of love, and it lands where it can heal and bless. It returns to me, multiplied 1,000-fold, as the universe says yes, yes, as the universe says yes.
Shall we join in up? And you who are out there with us in the ether, you're part of this circle and we welcome you. Our prosperity affirmation. We affirm
The continued prosperity of
the growth and prosperity of Unity Spiritual Center of waco,
and we are grateful.
and our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us.
I am the light of God.
The love of God enfolds us.
I am the love of God.
The power of God protects us,
I am the power of God.
and the presence of God watches over us.
I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. When peace begin with me, let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
As you go forward today and always, know you are changed, but you are loved. Let the church say amen.
Amen.